This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Precisely 6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Danushka Madhavala and read by Sharifa Tahir. The debt restructuring process will be finalized by next month. Minister Dr. Bandulu Gunawardena says that elections will not be postponed under any circumstances. The government aims to digitalize train and SLTB bus ticketing system. Minister Susil Premadhanth says that the 50% of the university teacher shortage will be filled by next month. The United National Party turns 77 today. Foreign news: cyber teams fight a high-tech war on Ukraine war front lines. In sports, Sri Lanka beat Afghanistan by 2 runs to progress to the Super 4 stage of the Asia Cup. Local news in detail now. Minister Dr. Bandulu Gunawardena said that the debt restructuring process will be finalized by next month. Speaking at the weekly cabinet briefing, the minister said that it was scheduled to end by now, but it was delayed due to several reasons. Some parties are trying to delay the process to get petty political mileages, he said. Meanwhile, Minister Dr. Bandulu Gunawardena further says that elections to be held will not be postponed under any circumstances. All the elections will take place on time. He further added that President Ranil Wickremesinghe instructed the cabinet to complete the debt restructuring program by the end of October. Although the debt restructuring process is to be completed by now, the implementation of the program in accordance with the time frame as per the agreements has been delayed due to narrow objectives of certain people. The minister stated that the restructuring of foreign debt is a big challenge at the national level. Domestic debt restructuring has now been completed. He further mentioned that it is intended to finish this process expeditiously by discussing with the Central Bank and the Ministry of Finance. The government aims to digitalize train and SLTB bus ticketing system. The government has already implemented this process. Minister Dr. Bandulu Gunawardena said that the relevant paper will be submitted to the cabinet next week. Renovation activities of the Kalani Valley Railway Line will commence tomorrow. Speed limits of the Kalani Valley Railway Line will be lifted. The minister said in the Parliament yesterday that the government hopes to upgrade the Kalani Valley Railway Line into an electric train line. Minister Susil Premadhanth says that 50% of the university teacher shortage will be filled by next month. The minister stated in Parliament yesterday that there is a shortage of 1,054 university teachers at 17 universities. The minister said that the shortage will be filled according to the standards of the University Grants Commission. In the meantime, a total of 9,904 students have obtained A passes for all 3 subjects at the 2022 GCE Advanced Level Examination. Results of the 2022 A-Level exams were released yesterday. According to the Department of Examinations, 166,938 students who sat the 2022 Advanced Level Examination have met the requirement for admission to state universities. Meanwhile, 817 biostream students, 1,088 students have sat the exam in the physical science stream, 4,198 commerce stream students, 3,622 arts stream students, 90 engineering technology stream students, and 73 biosystems technology stream students obtained A passes for all 3 subjects of the A-Level exam. Furthermore, 36 students who took various subjects also obtained 3 A passes each at the exam. A total of 331,709 students sat the 2022 GCE Advanced Level Examination. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news. Continuing with more local stories. The United National Party is commemorating its 77th anniversary today. Issuing a statement, the UNP said in view of the anniversary, religious events will be held at the party headquarters, Sirikota, this morning. Events are scheduled to begin at 7:30 a.m. Meanwhile, General Secretary of the UNP, Palita Rangibandara, said in conjunction with the anniversary, the party will be digitalized in order for the members to connect with the UNP easily. Several other events have also been organized in view of the 77th anniversary of the UNP. The United National Party was founded on the 6th of September 1946 by Don Stephen Senanayake, who later became the first Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. The UNP, also referred to as the Grand Old Party, had been the governing party from 1947 to 1956, from 1965 to 1970, from 1977 to 1994, 2001 to 2004, and 2015 to 2019. The UNP is celebrating its 77th anniversary while leader of the party, President Ranil Wickremesinghe, is taking forward a major reform agenda to save the country from the current economic crisis. The UNP is also touted as the party which has introduced the most number of progressive reforms and programs to take the country forward. The Cabinet took into account the report presented by the President in his capacity as the Finance, Economic Stabilization and National Policies Minister on the progress achieved by 202 large-scale development projects implemented by line ministries by the end of the second quarter of 2023. Taking also into consideration the progress of many projects was below expected levels by the end of the second quarter of 2023 due to the inability to use the funds related to the projects implemented on foreign funds and the limited release of local funds until the debt restructuring process that has commenced is completed. That being so, the Cabinet decided to allocate budget allocations for the year 2024 by prioritizing the projects that can contribute to the achievement of the government's 2048 development goals and contribute to easing the current economic crisis among the currently ongoing projects until foreign funds can be utilized. That's local news for the moment.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The officials representing the Ministry of Finance have assured the Committee on Public Finance that they intend to lift all restriction on imports except for private vehicles by the end of 2023. The officials made this disclosure when the committee requested for a time frame as to how long such restrictions will be in place post-advertently, considering the duopolies such restrictions have caused, especially governing wheat flour and tile. The discussion was held at the Committee on Public Finance when they met yesterday in Parliament, chaired by Dr. Harsha De Silva.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And on Watchlight, the Northern Railway line will be closed temporarily from January 2024 for renovations. Minister Dr. Bandara Gunawardena said the renovation work on the Northern Railway line will take place for a period of 6 months, following which trains will operate at a speed of 100 km per hour from Colombo to Kankesanthare. He added that the renovation work on the Colombo to Panadura tracks will commence shortly. In addition, plans are in place to remove the speed limits on the Kalani Valley Railway line in order to increase the speed of train services.
World News, brought to you by courtesy of
Say no more to moving and paying rent. Get a home loan from Commercial Bank at the lowest interest rate and get a home of your own.
Which Bhakta are you in now?
in Javatta, in my own house.
World News headlines. Cyber teams fight a high-tech war on Ukraine war front lines. Brazilian state reels after its worst cyclone disaster. Plate-sized surgical tool left in woman's abdomen for 18 months in New Zealand. World News in detail. Ukraine cyber operators are being deployed on the front lines of the war, dueling close-up with their Russian counterparts in a new kind of high-tech battle. Speaking inside the heavily protected SBU headquarters, head of the Ukrainian Security Services, Ilya Vityuk's cyber department explains how his teams mix the skills of hackers and special forces, getting inside Russian systems, working alongside snipers, and deploying the latest technologies. The department uses artificial intelligence visual recognition systems to analyze information gathered from aerial drones to provide targets for the military. His teams will also hack into surveillance cameras on occupied territory to watch Russian troop movements, and they direct kamikaze drones to take out Russian cameras spying on Ukrainian movements. Doing this often requires teams working undercover close to the target. Drones, sometimes used for surveillance and sometimes to act as weapons, have been at the leading edge of innovation in this conflict. Torrential rain and winds caused by a cyclone have left at least 21 people dead in southern Brazil, with more flooding expected. The governor of Rio Grande do Sul said it was the state's worst ever weather disaster. Thousands have been forced from their homes, officials said. In Macomb, a town of 5,000 people, hundreds had to be rescued from their rooftops as 85% of the town was flooded, local media report. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva said the federal government was ready to help. Governor of Rio Grande do Sul told a news conference that 15 more bodies had been found in Macomb on Tuesday, bringing the death toll to 21. More than 300 millimeters of rain hit the state in less than 24 hours, triggering floods and landslides, officials said. Finally, on world news, a device the size of a dinner plate was left in the abdomen of a woman in New Zealand after she gave birth via a caesarean in an Auckland hospital. The Alex's wound retractor, a soft tubal instrument used to hold open surgical wounds, was only removed 18 months after her delivery. During this time, the woman endured severe pains amid several doctor trips before it was found on a CT scan. Health regulators said the public hospital system had failed the patient. Initially, district health authorities Te Wataora, Auckland, had argued that they had not failed to exercise reasonable care and skill. But New Zealand's Health and Disability Commissioner disagreed in findings released on Monday. The Alex's wound retractor is a large object made of transparent plastic fixed on two rings. Typically, it is removed after the uterine incision is closed in a C-section operation and before the skin is stitched up. That's on World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
This message is for all the kids between the ages of 4 and 16 who love to draw. Commercial Bank's Arunalusittam is back once again. This time, the competition is also open to Sri Lankan kids currently living abroad. First, second and third place prizes will be awarded along with special merit and merit certificates. For more information, visit the Commercial Bank website. We have so many prizes to be won.
Development News is brought to you by
Job opportunities for well-experienced housemaids and home cooks in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait for ages 40 to 58 years. Salary 125,000 rupees. Contact 037 7500 500.
Several decisions have been taken in the Cabinet meeting Monday to make provisions for the registration of electric three-wheelers. In the production of electric three-wheelers and conversion of petrol or diesel-powered three-wheelers to be able to run on electric power, it has been identified that the tare weight of such tricycles exceeds 500 kilograms as they use electrically charged batteries. Also, according to the interpretation of the Motor Vehicle Act, a motorist tricycle must not exceed a tare weight of 500 kilograms and a gross weight of 1,000 kilograms. Accordingly, approval has been given in the Cabinet meeting held on the 8th of August 2022 to amend the Motor Vehicle Act by removing the obstacles to the registration of electric three-wheelers.
Job opportunities for women from Deshakti Lanka in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Oman. Housemaids and home cooks in Saudi Arabia, ages 40 to 58 years. Arabic speaking and well experienced home cooks. Salary 125,000 rupees. Interviews are now on with foreign agents. You can travel overseas free of charge now. Branches Colombo, Kurunegala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 0377 500 500. Deshakti Lanka Foreign Employment Agency.
And on sports news, Sri Lanka won the Group B sixth match of the Asia Cup against Afghanistan by 2 runs, which was played in Lahore, Pakistan yesterday. Batting first, Sri Lanka scored 291 runs with a loss of 8 wickets. Kusal Mendes scored 92 runs. In reply, Afghanistan was all out for 289 runs in 37.4 overs. After the heavy loss to Bangladesh, Afghanistan knew at the toss that any chase would have to be completed in around 37 overs for them to get their net run rate to qualification standards. Adding a bit of spice to this scenario was the fact that if they succeeded in doing so, Sri Lanka's NRR would then drop below that of both Bangladesh's and Afghanistan's, thus eliminating the defending champions. As it transpired, with Sri Lanka ending on 291 for 8, courtesy an 84-ball 92 from Kusal Mendes and a late stand between Dunit Vilalage and Mahesh Tikshna, Afghanistan needed to reach their target in 37.1 overs. For much of the chase, Sri Lanka had the game in hand, but then Mohammad Nabi's 32-ball 65 lit the fuse of belief and spread through the Afghan camp. That's on Sports News.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Apple's latest iPhone will almost certainly feature a USB-C charge point, and it is unveiled on 12th September. The firm's phones currently use its proprietary Lightning adapter, unlike rivals, including Samsung. A European Union law requires phone manufacturers to adopt a common charging connection by December 2024 to save customers money and cut waste. Most new Apple products, such as the latest iPads, already use USB-C, but the firm had argued against the EU rule.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And on economic news, a special insurance scheme called Sri Lanka Insurance Jeevana Shakti has been introduced for the welfare of plantation workers. The Plantation Human Resources Development Fund and the Ministry of Water Supply, Plantation and Infrastructure Development have launched a special insurance scheme in collaboration with the Sri Lanka Insurance. People between the age group of 18 to 70 can join the insurance scheme.
Weather report.
Another weather update. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in western Sabargama and northwestern provinces and in Kandy Nuwara Galle and Mathura districts. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters are likely at some places in western and Sabargama provinces and in Puttalam, Galle and Mathura districts. A few showers are likely in Mannor districts, and fairly strong winds about 40 to 45 kilometers per hour can be expected at times in western slopes of the Central Hills, northwestern, northern and north-central provinces and in Trincomalee and Hambantota districts. That's the weather update. Before we wind up the bulletin, back to the headlines. The debt restructuring process will be finalized by next month. Minister Dr. Bandulu Gunawardena says that elections will not be postponed under any circumstances. The government aims to digitalize train and SLTB bus ticketing system. Minister Susil Premajanta says that the 50% of the university teacher shortage will be filled by next month. The United National Party turns 77 today. Foreign news, cyber teams fight a high-tech war on Ukraine war front lines. In sports, Sri Lanka beat Afghanistan by 2 runs to progress to the Super 4 stage of the Asia Cup. With that, we conclude the Bulletin of News.